Hi everyone, I'm Matt Segall. I'm a psychologist at the Emory Autism Center, and I'm the director of Emory Oaks. Emory Oaks is our college autism support program for autistic students at Emory University. The landscape of college autism supports 10, 15, 20 years ago was really limited. We did not have a significant literature base, and there weren't many. There was probably just a few programs in the country that were supporting autistic students. And now things are not where we need them to be, but they're more robust, and Emory is part of a collection of colleges and universities and technical colleges and community colleges and so on that are part of what we call the College Autism Network that collectively supports college autism programs. And these are support programs at a university or college where autistic students can come to the program and receive some menu, if you will, of supports and services to help their college experience be a better one, be a more successful one in lots of different capacities. So what we do at Emory Oaks, we call it support navigation. So we have a staff position that meets with students individually. We get to know students in terms of their gifts and their strengths and what brings them to Emory and what are they hoping to achieve, and really getting to know them really well about all the positives and why they're here. And as we work with students over time and get to know them really well, we start to establish goals and figure out sort of those hopes and dreams and the different kind of activities and experiences that students want to have so that they are having this thriving, awesome, and successful experience here. And those goals kind of represent sort of a menu of things. So some students are going to have goals around understanding themselves better, or understanding the way that they experience anxiety perhaps, or other aspects of their life and their identity. And so we're going to make sure that students get connected to those resources, whether it's a psychologist or a counselor or a therapist or something along those lines. Some students might be having some goals that are concretely academic in nature, and we're going to make sure that they are getting student advising and academic coaching and academic accommodations and things like that, whatever it is that they might need. But one way or another, it can be really overwhelming as an autistic student, I think, to have to outreach on your own to all these different entities. And what we do in Emory Oaks is we lower that bar of access. We partner with students and we help them get to where they need to be and meet new people. And we take the responsibility and role in Emory Oaks of connecting all throughout the university fabric and in the community to build relationships and make friends wherever we go, and have people that are warm and kind and understanding and very welcoming of our students so that they have good experiences wherever it is that they might go. What we've built over time, I think, represents community. I think a lot of our students at least have the risk of feeling perhaps isolated or disconnected or not part of a community. And so by coming to Emory Oaks, even though the supports are so individualized, students know that they're part of a program, they're part of something. But this becomes a way for students to feel connected into something. And I think for any of us that can relate to that experience of maybe not being connected into something and maybe not finding that place of belonging and community, when you find that, when you have that, it can be so helpful and healthy for your journey and empowering for whatever those next goals that you might have might be. When I first came to the Emory Autism Center, I was a graduate student in school psychology, and I came to work with our school-age consultation program that was working with schools and school districts throughout Georgia, kindergarten through 12th grade and so on. But we started asking the question, well, what happens to autistic students that graduate high school and go off into college? And we started to think about what might be difficult about college for an autistic college student. And one way or another, we started really kind of learning and thinking about college is a great environment for a learner with autism, because you really get to hone in on something that is of high interest to you. That's the kind of the focus of college, is really kind of zeroing in on things. But college requires such a high degree of independence to study on your own, learn on your own, access things on your own, and so on, that we started to notice that students might be struggling with that. And so that really is why we started thinking about college supports for autistic students here at Emory and elsewhere. And then some students at Emory started getting referred to us. Emory Oaks hadn't yet been established, but we started working with students at Emory that were autistic and learning about their struggles. And really quickly, we also learned that not only might there be some of these academics and independent struggles, but some really significant mental health challenges as well, and students that might feel sort of isolated or anxious in ways that it was really difficult for them to either overcome challenges or find community and find connection in the college environment. And so those are some of the reasons why we started piecing this stuff together. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about autism. It's changed over the years. I've been doing this work in my career for 20-ish years now, and so when I first began doing this work, the misconceptions and myths were so dominated by vaccine questions and what causes autism and so on. I get much less of that these days. I think the main misconception that I think happens now is just the misunderstanding of just how heterogeneous the autism spectrum is, how different everyone is from one another, and that everyone has their own unique autistic experience, so to speak, and their families have their own unique experiences. And for some with autism is incredibly debilitating and challenging. And then for others with autism, their experience is challenging perhaps, but in very, very different ways. And so when we think about Emory Oaks and the students that we're working with here at Emory and our very, very bright and talented folks, they have significant real challenges, but they're different than someone who may need 24-hour care or things like that and so on. And so I think there used to be a real dominant phrase in the autism clinical community that if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. I think it still holds true that all of our folks that are part of the autistic community have their own individual and unique experiences, and it's up to all of us to learn about those identities and those experiences and those intersections, and treat people with compassion and try to get them access to the things that they need. But those things are different for everyone. I think it just starts with being a kind, curious, empathetic person. One of the things that I think autistic people and neurodivergent people experience is that because of maybe some of their differences in communication or socialization and behavioral things and so on, sometimes they feel like other people think that they're weird or strange or different and so on. And I think for anyone that's on the other end of that, responding to people's differences in a way of with kindness and curiosity and empathy versus judgment and ostracization and othering and so on. That's probably the most helpful way that all of us can be allies at all times. In Emory Oaks, we have a really high emphasis on career outcomes and career development. And so another great way for people to be an ally is to think about their own careers and their own employment spaces, and where in your own job you can make that workplace more welcoming of autistic and neurodivergent folks, and perhaps even be like a career mentor to someone and help people understand what these workplace expectations are and competencies are, and how to sort of build a network within your own kind of career development and goals. I think in terms of Emory and the allyship within our community, My colleague Kelsey and I, who we run Emory Oaks together, we are always looking for partners and people to connect with and offer information about how to best create a welcoming and safe and supportive space for our autistic students here at Emory. So another great way to be an ally is to reach out to us for additional connection and information and training. So I think there's lots of ways to be an ally. But again, I think it really just starts with that empathy and that warmth and being a kind person for our students to meet and get to know. For the future of Emory Oaks, I think about this a lot. We're a pretty new program. This spring we'll be completing our second full year. I think first and foremost, when I dream big about the program, I think about what will become like an alumni network of Emory Oaks, meaning that we've existed for a while, that we've maintained connections to our students that have graduated, that they're in jobs and in careers, and that there's sort of this community extending beyond the Emory experience while students are here that still keeps all of us connected and helps other students while they're here at Emory learn more about jobs and career and industry and things like that. One thing that I really I think we're inching ever closer to is for Emory Oaks to feel like a leadership development experience. I want all of our students that work with us to be able to think of themselves as leaders and be able to access the leadership growth opportunities and development opportunities that they can. So that component's really important and special to me. I think when I think really, really big picture, kind of outside of our Emory community, I think every college and university ought to have a program like this. And I hope for the day when, whether it's in Georgia or whether it's bigger landscapes than that, that there are more and more colleges that want to have programs like Emory Oaks and look at Emory Oaks as a leader in developing their new programs and so on there. And then really what I can't answer this question without including is the idea that Emory Oaks always feels like a program that students want to come to on their own and to be a part of, and that it holds that community and belonging space. If we can hold on to that core side of it, then all these other things that we grow into will blossom as well.